Chapter 5. The spiritual pilgrimage begins. The fog, the mountains, and the cocoon. The spiritual pilgrimage begins with the feet and ends where the mind and the soul meet. From here, our conscience penetrates the entire universe, found in Hospital del Alma, Castrolleritz. I have reflected on how much I want to share openly in this chapter, as spirituality is not commonly discussed in the business world. Although my clients accept me as I am and mention this often in interviews, especially those who hold a spiritual view of the world, as they may benefit greatly from coaching with me. So I decided to share it openly as occurred to me. I invite you to read it with an open mind. The spiritual path, when the head bows to the heart. Spirituality is finding an emotional counterpart to a conceptual understanding. So Viktor Frankl. Day 28. Oviedo, San Juan de la Villa Panada, Grado, 32 kilometers. On the Camino, they say the journey unfolds in layers. First come the physical challenges, then the mental ones across the mesetas, long flat plains. After that, the emotional terrain opens, and finally, for those who stay long enough, the spiritual. The Camino Primitivo, I walked this final stretch with sore feet, an open heart, and a deep spiritual question echoing inside me. Did I meet God on this journey? I asked this question to myself and to several pilgrims I met. Some paused and smiled. Some looked astonished, though doubtful. Some answered in silence, while others shared their beautiful experiences. And sometimes it shows up through beautiful synchronicities. For me, it was about the emotional equivalent through encounters with other highly spiritual beings. One moment of unexpected grace occurred in the beautiful cathedral of Oviedo. My fellow pilgrim Maciek recognized a face in the crowd, a man he had met 2 years before on the Camino Frances. It was Roy, a Protestant priest from the USA, walking again with 2 friends, Oscar and Emmeline. We struck up a conversation, and what began as polite chatter turned into a profound exchange about God, the universe, and especially the presence of angels. While Maciek preferred to continue his walk that day, I decided to take a half-day's rest and check into the hotel. We decided to have a specialty for dinner, pulpo, in the pulperia, octopus. Spirit guides. The next day, walking with Roy a section out of Oviedo towards Grado, we engaged in a deeper conversation about spirit guides and archangels. Interesting for me, Roy was a pastor and a scholar of the Bible, yet he had never truly considered whether spirit guides might be companions on the spiritual dimension, nor if it was possible to communicate with them. I shared with him my experience, how I've come to know my 2 spirit guides in meditation in my inner team, whom I call Michael and Ashley. Michael has a strong masculine energy colored electric blue. He gives clear directions. Turn right. Stop. Call this person. Sometimes he whispers a name or flashes a number into my awareness. Ashley is more subtle. She communicates through sound, scent, music, animals, butterflies, soft signs that require attunement. It took me time to decipher these messages. I had some early experiences in my adolescence around the passing of my grandmother. I had detected that I had a special gift. I was highly energy sensitive. I could dowse water lines, sometimes even sense auras of human beings, flowers, and plants. It took me a few years to meet other highly energy sensitive people who introduced me to ways to communicate with my guides. Today, when I'm grounded through meditation, silence, and presence, it is easy to tune into their signals of communications. I can actively ask them for, or sometimes they'll show up right in front of me as if to say, "We've been trying to reach you." Recently, they had a request asking someone if they wanted to meet their guides. A little uneasy. I did what they asked me. It turned out to be a very deep, profound conversation. A short side note. My virtual coaching clients are reminded of my two angels when we have our Zoom coaching sessions. In the photograph of me walking the Camino, hanging behind me in my office, there are two shadow figures. They keep reminding me to be aware of them. That's why I intentionally light a candle at the beginning of every coaching session to invite their presence. It makes it much easier for me to be present and let go of control. My coach, Chris Joseph, once shared a powerful line from his teacher. Spirituality is finding an emotional equivalent to a conceptual understanding. That line stayed with me. It describes the exact moment when something moves from the mind into the body, into the heart. It's when truth isn't just known, it's felt. It's the moment the head bows to the heart. Interestingly, most people who judge something to be esoteric often are either afraid or didn't take the effort to really study the subject with a master, nor have they created a personal experience around the topic. Judgment creates distance. Over time, I've come to recognize a form of spiritual perception in something I once dismissed, my sensitivity to numbers. As a former CFO, I used to downplay this, thinking it was just an odd quirk. Today, I see it differently. My clients sometimes share business plans or balance sheets, and I can feel the numbers. I sense the ones that hold integrity and alignment, and those that don't. Sometimes they speak in symbols, like repeating triplets or quadruplets. The energy behind the numbers has become a form of intuitive language. In leadership, we often seek data-driven clarity, though some truths don't arrive through analysis. They arrive through intuitive resonance. Reflection questions. When was the last time you felt truth, not in your mind, though in your heart? Have you ever sensed something before you understood it? If your intuition had a name or presence, what might it be? The Sacred Sequence, Fibonacci and the Path of Growth. Day 29, San Juan de la Villapanada, Grado La Espina, 26 kilometers. In the rugged hills of Asturias, ancient symbols echo through the landscape, markings of Celtic origin that whisper of deep-rooted wisdom. Among them, the seed of life, the core of the flower of life. See final section Walking into Finisterre. Speaks to a timeless truth. Growth is not random. It's encoded in sacred geometry. These patterns are more than aesthetics. They are energetic blueprints for life itself. At the heart of this pattern lies a simple yet powerful sequence. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and so on. Each number is the sum of its two predecessors. A rhythm that nature follows in everything from the spirals of shells to the petals of a sunflower. Known today as the Fibonacci sequence, it was first introduced into Western mathematics and philosophy by Leonardo of Pisa, better known as Fibonacci, Leonardo di Fibonacci, in the 13th century. Why this matters in Camino coaching. Like the Fibonacci pattern, true leadership growth doesn't leap, it builds. It expands in aligned steps, always integrating what came before. As someone drawn to the energy and structure of numbers, this natural rhythm of expansion felt like home to me. The Fibonacci sequence isn't just a mathematical curiosity. It's a symbol of organic, unforced, and uninevitable growth. It reflects the path of the transformation I guide my clients through, step by step, always building on what has come before. Nothing wasted, everything included, lovingly integrating the journey and the past. So when I began shaping my identity as a coach, I found myself returning to the spiral, not just as a concept, though as a living symbol. In the early days of my meditation journey, I had a powerful, energetic, and spiritual experience meditating on the flower of life to activate the personal energetic Merkaba field the energetic vehicle set to activate the light body. That imprint stayed with me. When I later worked with Ursula Maria Lang on her final day of her signature workshop, Finding Your Profession, she unexpectedly brought the Fibonacci spiral back into my awareness. I felt like a confirmation. A code I had already been living was now finding its expression in my coaching world. From branding to becoming, my spiral as a coach. The first version of my Fibonacci logo had a deep blue base, solid, grounded, with a golden spiral emerging from the center. It was the beginning, a structure supporting the first waves of transformation. In the second iteration, the structure became more refined. A blue scaffolding held space for the golden mean spiral to evolve and expand. It symbolized how I saw myself as a coach, holding the frame while clients grew into their form. Then the third version, the one I use currently, the scaffolding dissolved. What remained was a free, swirling spiral of energy, alive, intuitive, expansive. No longer contained, no longer held. Pure momentum, letting go of structure. Designing this wasn't a solo journey. With my trusted web designer, Jörn Fischer, I had a creative partner who brought both skill and soul to the process. He helped integrate the evolving symbol into my website and branding. More importantly, he held the space for my playful unfolding, allowing the Fibonacci principle to shape the logo and the way I create everything else around. A symbol that walks with me, a living metaphor. This Fibonacci spiral has become more than a graphic or a metaphor. It's a reminder that every coaching journey, like every natural process, grows from where it is. It doesn't need to leap. It only needs to integrate and evolve. That's the power of the Fibonacci sequence. Not control, not force, trust the process. A return to the organic rhythm of growth. In every Camino coaching walk, I carry this spiral in my heart and in my logo. That's why it's engraved on the back of the Camino coaching dominoes. It reminds me and my clients that we are always in motion, always expanding, always becoming. One step, one breath, one Fibonacci moment at a time. Let me ask you a few reflection questions. Where are you forcing growth rather than allowing it? What stage are you in? Structure, refinement, or release? If your path had a symbol, what would it be? The seed of creation. A vision born on the Camino. Day 30. La Espina Compilo 24 kilometers. The ideas from my Camino coaching weren't dreamt up in a strategy session or a branding workshop. They were walked into being, an experiential truth formed into a concept, step by step, story by story. During my Camino pilgrimage, I spent hundreds of hours in deep one-on-one conversations. Strangers became mirrors, wounds became wisdom. Again and again, I found myself sitting with stories of transformation. Some call the Camino the world's longest psychological bench. And rightly so, many walk it to heal, to reflect, to integrate past experiences, to remember who they truly are beneath all the roles they've played. As I listened, a vision began to take shape. What if I could walk my business clients in the same way? What if coaching could happen in nature, not in an office, where each step reveals what's ready to emerge, where silence speaks louder than words, and where we're not pushing towards goals but spiraling into our deeper truth? It became clear. I wasn't only meant to coach. I was meant to walk with people quite literally and to be a trusted guide in their unfolding. During my learning phase at the Munich Systemic Business Coaching Academy, I chose a mentor coach, Michael Simple, a fellow Camino pilgrim and entrepreneur. He too had begun walking the Camino as a lifelong project. Starting from Munich through Switzerland and France, walking a few days each year, he understood the inner terrain that mirrored the outer journey. With him, the idea matured. to create a format that fuses coaching with pilgrimage, soul-searching with movement, and dialogue with nature. And so Camino Coaching was born. He calls it the walk. Walking the spiral. Now, 8 years into my coaching business, I spend about 20 days each year walking my signature program, a Camino Coaching walk. One-on-one business or life coaching. Deep, intimate, honest. A safe space to release what's hidden and reclaim buried treasures. Nature becomes the co-coach, with rivers, trees, and mountains whispering their metaphors. And I walk with small groups of entrepreneurs, peers coaching peers, elevating each other. A collective pilgrimage, each supporting the other's spiral of growth. In larger group experience, I used other skilled coaches to co-create. A potent transformational impulse, a taste of the journey, often in a beautiful city or landscape, always filled with spirit. This format is deeply flexible and scalable, yet it always follows the same geometry, the spiral of natural growth inside out. This isn't a retreat you attend, it's a journey you inhabit with ripple effects across your leadership, relationship, and creations. Sometimes we must look back to untangle the roots and heal what has been. Other times we look forward, dreaming into the next horizon, the next possibility. We walk in the rhythm of the Fibonacci sequence. Nothing forced, nothing rushed, only the next step, the next breath, and the next becoming. Let me give you a few reflection questions. What kind of walk is your soul calling for you right now? Solitude, partnership, or community? If you are curious to walk with me, let's begin by having a conversation. I invite you to contact me. The Hospitalis Route, the truth found in the fog. Day 31, Compillo Tineo Hospitalis Route, Bedu Cedo. 27 kilometers. The Camino Primitivo, there is a choice, a little fork in the road. One path leads through the valley, a safe and well-traveled route. The other, known as the Hospitalis Route, is a 27-kilometer trek along the mountain ridge, where the reward is said to be breathtaking panoramic views stretching deep into the mountain. I had read about it. I had pictured it. My heart was set onto it. Tomorrow, I'll be walking this beautiful ridge, the Hospitalis Route, I had thought. Anticipation bubbling inside me. The Camino had other plans. I woke to fog and rain, and thick and relentless, the kind of weather that whispers, "Not today." I could have taken the valley route, just 6 kilometers to the next village, safe, certain, predictable. Or I could step into 27 kilometers of thick fog, rain-soaked silence, and the unknown. I reached the fork in the road and stood still. The valley to the left, the mountaintop hidden in the mist to the right. I stopped. I closed my eyes. I asked my inner voice, my guides. When I opened them, my feet turned right. That's how we move through fog. Fog does something to the world. It dims all noise. It erases the horizon. It shrinks the reality down to what's right in front of you. And now, 20 minutes in, I could hear nothing. No birds, no wind, no footsteps. I could see nothing. Just the narrow path ahead, fading into a gray unknown. Every once in a while, a small yellow arrow or scallop shell would appear, quietly reassuring me, you are still on the right path. At one point, I stopped at a yellow arrow with a red heart painted next to it. I stared at it. Tears of deep emotions watered my eyes. A deeper truth revealed itself. Universal awareness and presence. A true surrender experience. My heart was wide open in joy. That's exactly how life feels sometimes. The truth found in the fog. We all walk through foggy patches in life. You know where you want to go, but you can't see the way. You wonder if you're lost, if you have made the wrong choice, if you should turn back. Doubt. Sometimes Life is not about seeing the whole path. It's about taking the next step, and the next, and the next. What I didn't know that morning was that this foggy, uncertain path would become one of my deepest moments of joy in the Camino. Had I known how thick the fog would be, I would have never chosen this route. I would have thought, that's risky. Don't go into the mountains in the fog. I would have avoided this experience altogether. Now I was in it, and there was something incredibly real, incredibly peaceful about walking without certainty, only trusting in the unseen. Fog doesn't block the path, it slows you down just enough to feel it beneath your feet. The foggy patch approach to life. When I guide people through uncertainty, I remind them, in the fog of life, look for simple signs, the equivalent of the yellow arrows that quietly reassure you, yes, keep going. Take small steps, don't rush. When you can't see far ahead, slow down. Trust that your intuition will guide you if you give it space to speak. If you're really lost, ask for help. There are always fellow travelers, even if you can't see them yet. I think of it like a child's game, the one where you hide a piece of candy under a pot and search for it step by step, warmer, hot, until suddenly you find it. That's how we move through the fog, one slow, deliberate step at a time, until, without realizing it, we emerge into clarity. A few reflection questions. What feels like fog in your life right now? What foggy patches in your life have you stepped through, discovering the red thread only afterward, looking back? Who in your circle of friends seems in a foggy patch of life right now and might need a sign of reassurance? Pentecost in Grandas de Salimas. Everything you want to be is just in the palm of your hand. From Lorena, from Argentina. Day 32, Beducedo, Grandas de Salimas, 19 kilometers. The Camino Primitivo began to feel like a string of pearls, each day offering a quiet spiritual moment. One of the most powerful came on Pentecost Sunday. After a long walk from Alande de Grandas de Salimas, I passed through a forest still blackened from fire. The landscape carried both scars and a strange sacred silence. During the last mile to the hostel, I walked with Lorena, a pilgrim from Argentina. She had spoken about her hidden gift. She was an energy healer who used her voice, singing through a person's energy field to clear blockages. Curious, I asked to receive such a session. As a result, my inner senses turned crystalline clear. The world felt clear, and a vision formed. Wouldn't it be beautiful to celebrate Pentecost all together, our small group who had walked many days together, and something about that day felt full and ripe. Outside the hostel sat John, a newly ordained Catholic priest from Korea. With a spark of curiosity and little courage, I asked him, "Would you be open to celebrating Pentecost Mass with our group, even if almost none of them are Catholic?" He looked up, surprised. I expected a gentle refusal. After all, I had already experienced rejection in Roncesvalles. After a moment of reflection, he smiled and said, "In theory, I'm only allowed to give communion to practicing faithful Catholics, though I will never turn away anyone who asks. If you come, I will give." And so we gathered. Near a fountain under a simple roof, we found a long table, a place of rest and communion. 12 pilgrims from 8 different countries and beliefs sat together as John read the Mass from his smartphone Bible. He broke the sacred bread into many small pieces and passed them gently down the table. One by one, we received. At the end, we stood and recited the Lord's Prayer in 8 different languages, each voice echoing the essence of Pentecost. Many tongues, one Spirit. It wasn't planned, it wasn't formal, and it was real. A sacred moment made of trust, spontaneity, and shared humanity. And perhaps, in that, the truest kind of communion. Don't walk alone. Choose a skillful guide. Day 33, Grandas de Salimas, Fonsagrada, 26 kilometers. Transformation asks a lot of us. Patience, practice, inner work, and wise support. When things don't go as expected, and they rarely do, you don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the level of your training or coaching. If you've walked this terrain before, you'll know where to step, when to rest, and how to listen to the signs. If it's your first time, through grief, burnout, identity loss, or reinvention, it's wise to walk with someone who's been there. Someone who can say, yes, this is normal. Just don't go too fast. Keep walking. You'll come out at the other side. This is why I believe don't try to do deep transformation alone. Choose a skillful guide. Surround yourself with people who have navigated their dark forests. Those wisdoms can steady you when you forget your way. Transformation lives in the tension between inner stillness and outer movement. You need both. Only sitting in silence won't change your life. Only running in circles won't get you where you want to go. It helps to stay connected to your inner compass, feel what's true, and then take aligned steps outward. That's how transformation becomes real, embodied, and visible. There are signs when someone is entering a new phase. I often call it the dark hour of the day, or when the fog becomes so thick it stops you in your tracks. I've been there. Not on this Camino, but years before. I remember waking up on my birthday and feeling completely empty. No strength, no energy, no desire to get up. Only a slow, quiet sadness that clung to everything. At the time, I didn't realize how deep I was in the fog. Thankfully, a few close people, family and friends, noticed. They suggested I speak to someone. That was the beginning of a deeper journey. Therapy, reflection, and naming truth I had long buried. One of the biggest realizations? I had never truly said no to things I didn't want. I had been pleasing, performing, caring, without pause. There's a kind of fog that's simply part of growth. The early morning fog, stretching you to reflect. It lifts once the sun starts shining bright. And there's another kind, the kind that drains your life force. The fog of the swamp. That's the kind that requires you to stop and ask, am I still on the right path? Or is this exhaustion a sign of I need to course correct? This is where a skillful guide, a coach, a therapist, or a mentor can make all the difference. Sometimes it's a soft nudge. Other times it's a come to Jesus moment. You're not okay. You need help now. And that's okay. Let me put you a few reflection questions. Where in your life are you trying to navigate alone when it might be time to ask for help for a trusted guide? Who could walk with you, not to fix, though to witness and guide you through the fog? The spiral within. Seeing the patterns of human growth. Day 34, A Fonsagrada, Castro Verde, 32 kilometers. When we walk the Camino, we not only walk across a country, we also walk across the layers of ourselves. The daily walking, the reflection, and the conversations help us ask reflective questions. When we coach or lead others, we often wonder, why does this person see the world so differently? Why does this organization resist change? Why do some paths feel like expansion and others like a loop back into old stories? To understand this, we need a map, not of the terrain outside, but of the evolution of human consciousness. In my coaching work, and through the guidance of my coach Petra Gregori, I was introduced to the framework of integral thinking, a model refined by Ken Wilber and rooted in spiral dynamics. It opened a whole new way of seeing, a way of honoring how each stage of development builds upon the last, not as right or wrong, but as evolving, like the layers of a tree trunk or the stages of a pilgrimage. Let me walk you through the integral spiral of evolution, the spiral of human development. Beige, survival instinct. The most basic layer, the newborn, the refugee, the person in a trauma. Life is about staying alive. Food, warmth, safety, shelter. When we're in this state, nothing else matters until the basics are secured. Next level is purple, tribal belonging. Think of childhood or close-knit families. The magic of rituals, family bonds, and ancestral wisdom. This is the world of we do this because our people have always done it. Safety comes through the belonging to the tribe. Red, power and control. The rebellious teenager, the warrior lord king, the street gang. Power is personal. I want what I want now. In small companies, it shows up in the founder who rules like a charismatic boss. Everyone follows the strongest voice, like a triangle or a pyramid. The top decides, top down. Blue, for order and structure. Now comes discipline, hierarchy and rules. Think military, school systems, and traditional religion, church, or government. Right and wrong are clearly defined. Roles and responsibilities are set. This is where many institutions live. Orange, achievement and success. This is the world of capitalism, innovation and results. The best ideas win. Science, progress, measurable results, and goals, bonuses. The individual rises through merit. Organizations become performance-driven machines. This is where many of my clients have excelled and sometimes burned out. Green, community and equality. When orange becomes too competitive, we long for connection. Green invites dialogue, inclusion, and sustainability. Here, people seek harmony, shared leadership, and emotional intelligence. Decision-making can slow down when everyone must be heard equally. The challenge is that if often it feels like family. Purple, though, is required with a good relationship with mother and father to live it freely. Yellow, integration and mastery. Something shifts. Yellow sees the value in all stages. Instead of either or, it becomes yes and. Leaders at Yellow are not attached to status. They operate in projects, partnerships, and purpose, each person playing in their zone of genius. They adapt, they simplify, they serve from a place of clarity. Surrender isn't failure, it's wisdom. Day 35, Castroverde, Lugo, 24 kilometers. What's the cost of pushing forward just because something was planned? Remember Simone, how she had booked everything in advance? Guess who was standing at the city gates of Lugo? A lady on crutches greeting pilgrims. How could that be? Simone here in Lugo? I had last seen her in León, about to continue the Camino Frances directly to Santiago. I asked, how come you are here? Wasn't your plan to be in Santiago already? She shared her story about the hurt foot and how she now took a bus and taxi to visit all the places along the Camino. I thought, well, that's one way to walk the Camino. For me, there's another message here about surrendering to what I want to experience and what my body is telling me. It's about being able to course correct. What happened? She hadn't taken any rest days and exhausted her foot. She could continue walking, and the doctor told her to rest for several days. Since she had reserved all the hotels ahead, every morning she took a taxi or bus to get to the next destination and had time to greet pilgrims. So Simone's crutches were a good reminder. How about a rest day? My body and my inner compass said, now is the right time. Rest day reflections in Lugo. Day 35, Lugo. Lugo was a reflection day. In the morning I walked along the ancient Roman city walls, first by myself. The sky was overcast and the air felt light. And then I bumped into Lindsay from Canada, and we walked the city walls together, this time mostly holding space for her. It was a kind of a reflective, listening walk. A mirror held up through presence more than conversation. Very similar to what I do in my deep coaching walks. Later that afternoon, something beautiful unfolded. I had spoken about my meditations, especially the chakra or the rainbow meditation, and 3 fellow pilgrims, Blake, Carol, and Lindsay, nudged me to share it with them. We picked a calm spot on the grass of a public park, children playing nearby. So we sat in a quieter corner, closed our eyes, and I shared the practice I had been practicing for myself for many years. Here is what I offered. Rainbow meditation, a journey through the chakras. I invite you to listen with eyes closed in a quiet space. Breathe deeply. Let each word guide you into a deeper awareness. Let your body settle in. Find a comfortable position, either lying down or sitting upright with your spine tall and the feet on the ground. Allow your eyes to close and take a long, slow breath in and release even longer with a breath out. And another one, deep, slow in and exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. With each breath, allow yourself to let go. Relax just a little more. Let go of tension, of thoughts, of trying. There's nothing to do. Only to breathe. Let yourself be held by the earth beneath you. Feel the grounding into the earth. Feel your feet, your spine, your legs, your whole body connecting deep with the ground, with Mother Earth. Imagine roots growing down from the soles of your feet or from the base of your spine, deep into the soil, through layers of rock and earth, all the way down to the core of the earth. Feel yourself grounded, safe. Now imagine the earth energy, warm, red and alive, rising slowly through your roots, filling your body with strength, stability, and support. Opening to the divine. Now allow yourself to bring the attention to the very top of your head, your crown chakra. Imagine a soft white, violet light there beginning to glow. And if a gentle flower is opening to the sky. Through this crown, a stream of gold-white cosmic light begins to pour down, flowing into your body, filling you with clarity, peace, and presence. And slow down even more to feel the presence. You are held between earth and sky, rooted and open, connected to an everlasting cosmic flow of energy. Now take your awareness on the rainbow journey through the chakras. Begin with your awareness at the base of your spine. There's a little red point, vibrant and alive, at the end of your spine. This is your root, your sense of belonging and survival. There's a feeling of I am safe, I belong, I am nurtured, I am held. And allow the energy to spread, to feel it. It's strong, steady, unshakable. Let the red energy shine and radiate. Now, with your next breath, move your awareness up to the navel or the sacral chakra. It's glowing in orange. It's the center of your emotions, pleasure, and creativity. A feeling or word is I create. I am creative. Let the orange light gently swirl and expand with every breath, bringing warmth and fluidity. Moving up to your solar plexus just above the navel. Now see and sense the yellow light, bright like the sun. This is your solar plexus, your power center, your willpower, your confidence. You feel strong sense of I act. I am courageous. I make it happen. And let yourself feel empowered, energized, in control, healthy, and in action. With the next breath, move your awareness up to the heart, the center of your chest, glowing with the color green, lush, intense green. Feel the energy of love, compassion, and connection. I love, I am connected, I am grateful. And feel the energy around it. Let this green light expand as you feel compassion and love flowing in and out. And with the next breath, move the awareness up to the throat chakra. See a light blue, cool and clear. It's the center of authentic expression. This is your voice, the expression of truth, authenticity. I speak. I express myself. Feel your ability to express, to speak, and to be heard. Let this light blue energy radiate from your throat chakra. And with the next breath, I invite you to move your awareness up to the forehead, the space between your eyebrows, the third eye. The color is indigo blue, deep and mystical. Your third eye, your inner wisdom, the seat of intuition and vision. I imagine, I hear, I sense, I know. All the senses are coming together, inside and outside. Let the light awaken your inner knowing. Let the deep blue energy swirl around and nurture the deep knowledge of intuition and knowingness. And with the next breath, I invite you to move your awareness up to the crown, the top of your head. It's a 1,000-petal lotus flower in violet light, radiant, showing upwards, open. It's your connection to the divine, to the spiritual level. You are whole, you are aligned. The words I am, I intend. And you feel that you are a bridge, a link between the earth and the sky, body and soul. And your inner body awareness lets you sense all these different colors shine within you like a rainbow. Each one alive and flowing, balanced, gentle and clear. And through deep, slow breath, imagine increasing the intensity. The colorful light turns bright white. Let the energy of the rainbow settle into every cell of your body. And just rest there for a few more breaths. Aware. Sense your body. There's a calmness, there's a stillness, high level of integrity, alignment. And enjoy the silence and the breathing some more, and feel the flow of energy through you, an abundant, never-ending flow of cosmic energy, nurturing all your energy centers. And all it takes is a slowing down and some intention to feel and realize and put your awareness there. And now, when you're ready, I invite you to slowly bring your attention back to the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently open your eyes. Welcome back.